I just wanted to very quickly talk about some of the things that the Calderdale Liberal Democrat group are proposing as an amendment to the Cabinet at Budget Council next Monday. We've got three main ideas of what we'd like to spend money on, increase a bit of funding for. One of those is to prevent a cut in something called DCatch funding. Now, this is essentially money that goes towards supporting disabled children within their early years education. It helps pay for instance, assistance to attend a kind of day nursery to help someone who may have a problem such as autism or some other form of disability. The cut being proposed wasn't a huge amount. It was about £50,000, which sounds a lot of money, but in terms of the council's budget, isn't a huge amount of a budget. But it was going to have a really big impact on a lot of families of disabled children here in Calderdale. And so that's one of the things that we're aiming to stop. The next two things are growth areas. First off, we want to do a one-off project which involves giving some funding to the police in order that they can get a traffic cop back on the streets of Calderdale. We're getting increased reports of dangerous driving, speeding. A lot of the criminals at the moment, they're using uninsured cars. They're linked to other offences as well. So, you arrest them for driving an uninsured car. You find out that they've got drugs on them or they're involved in other forms of criminality as well. So we want to see a traffic cop permanently back on the streets of Calderdale. Also, we want to do some action to help tackle environmental crimes, and by this we mean like fly tipping, littering, antisocial behaviour. These things really do affect people's quality of lives. It's a real problem at the moment, particularly in parts of Halifax with a lot of these sorts of crimes. We want to set up an environmental crime task force to tackle that problem. So they're the three things we want to do. We want to create, an extra traffic cop back on the streets, environmental crime, and we're aiming to stop a cut to disabled children. Now, how are you going to do this? The budget is tight at the moment. There's no leeway in council funding or local government funding whatsoever. We're going to stop the cut to disabled children. We're going to do this by adopting a nurse-led sickness policy. So staff on the council in certain areas are going to have to phone, first off, they're going to have to phone a nurse before they phone their line manager. This helps give them better advice so they can get back to health sooner. That means the council can cut down on agency fees and the cost of staff sickness. Secondly, the second way we're going to raise some of this funding is that we are going to reintroduce a previously agreed saving that had been taken out, which involves putting up some of the fees and charges the council has for some of its services. No one wants to pay more for stuff, but in all the budget consultations, people have said they'd rather pay a little bit more for some of the charged services on the council rather than see things cut. So that's the second way we're going to get a big chunk of this money in order to do the things that we want to do, really. So we think by doing those two things, third and final way we're going to save some money is if we can transfer some town halls to community ownership. So this is transferring Todmorden Town Hall to Todmorden Town Council, community halls such as those in Brighouse to the local community. By doing all of those three things, we can find the extra money to get the extra traffic cop, to help the disabled kids, and to help tackle environmental crime. And we can do all of those things as a budget amendment without actually changing the amount of council tax from what's being proposed in the initial budget. So if you want to find more information about this, you can find all the detail of it on our website, www.calderdalelibdems.focusteam.org, or you can just follow the link underneath this video.